Good afternoon and welcome to Eastern Stadium for another beautiful afternoon of Lansing Common football. I am Josh Pugh, joined today
by Jack Vowinkle. Thanks so much for that lovely introduction, Josh.
Oh, anytime, brother.
We're super excited to bring you Game 2 of the season for Lansing Common FC. The Robins emerged victorious in a 2-1 defeat of Laboca FC last Sunday, and now look to repeat their efforts against Ypsilanti Athletic Football Club, the visitors here in this evening's contest. And Josh, thoughts about last game, a 2-1 victory? They looked good at some parts, rough in others. Takeaways?
Game 1 was the takeaway. Certainly some rust. Just like every other Game 1, the weather was a little crisp, which meant we sold lots of sweatshirts. It might look on the stream like a little more of the same from last week, but I will tell you, it is a little warmer. The wind is a little less, and so hoping that results in some better play on the field. From both sides. I would say the wind definitely interfered with both sides last week. The referees and the offside rule certainly did as well. But we know this Ypsi athletic team is no pushover, although we certainly know from last year they are not on the level of this Lansing Common squad.
Yeah, last year's game against Ypsilanti Athletic Football Club was the result of a 7-0 victory for the Robins. So they look to repeat those efforts here. And then if you're Ypsilanti Athletic Club, you look to at least get on the scoreboard here against Lansing Common, as right now in the playing field, the players are going to give roses to their mothers, as that's the tentative plan. So look forward to doing that. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers watching and to everybody who celebrates, all the women in their lives.
We were a little remiss in saying that. You know, when you get to Eastern Stadium, it's not the real world anymore, right? What holidays? But we are celebrating the mothers today, is just outside of your screen, each of them getting their flowers, their literal flowers, those who are in attendance today, from their sons. And we do have a good showing from mothers and other fans as well, braving this 60-degree day. As we look to get kicked off here, we will be frank with our viewing audience. The reason you were experiencing some dead air is because we were just filling out the Ypsi athletic roster as we received it a couple ticks before game time. So we know about as much about these boys as the coaching staff does, which is to say not a lot other than the score line we shared with you from last year, but hoping for a spirited game on this Mother's Day afternoon.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, if they just put in their starting lineup, that's actually a good coaching strategy because it prevents the other team from knowing anything about you.
Plenty of conduct at this level of American soccer could be construed as gamesmanship,
right?
Or maybe just a little lack of organization on a Sunday afternoon. But no harm, no foul. We've got the play sheets. We are going to be diving in our best. We've got some interesting numbers. We got a number 75 in the starters. We got some interesting pronunciation that we're going to do our best to muddle through, and we got a head coach named Lucky. How about that?
Lucky Bunsana Kamanivong is the name of the head coach of Ypsilanti Athletic Football Club, established in 2023. Made the roughly 90-minute drive down the road here to play at Eastern Stadium. As Josh mentioned, last year's victory for the Robins was a 7-0 defeat, so extremely impressive showing, and I'm sure that Ypsilanti Athletic remembers that, and they're going to come out with some fire in the first 10 minutes. But head coach Brent Sorg's goal for the Robins was to win the first 10 minutes, and I think that's very important because at times last week, Laboca was able to handle the Robins and really build stretches of momentum for themselves that wasn't necessarily expected. And that, for the Robins, is going to be important to prevent that against Ypsilanti Athletic, who has a chip on their shoulder following last year's defeat.
Yes, indeed. Two interesting things from last year's run. It was 2-0 at halftime. So through the first 45, did not look like it was going to be a walk. And then second, last year's match against Ypsi was the coming out party for young Zach Holden. Had a hat trick, all within about 15 minutes of game time, I want to say. Zach Holden, of course, a local product, as we like to see in our roster at Lansing Common, not in the lineup today. A lot of times these early season matches, we got guys have club conflicts. They're still at college. They're wrapping up other responsibilities. And so we expect expect this starting 11 to look, though, probably a lot like it's going to throughout the heart of the Midwest Premier League season, as Coach Brent Sorg is going to be trotting out a 4-2-3-1 with some familiar faces and some new guys as well. Jack, you want to take them through the lineup?
Yeah, let's do it here as this graphic will pop up on our screen momentarily. Start things off, Extreme Hulk. Man, what a name. I'll tell you what, we got names and
starting and finishing the starting 11 with wonderful names.
Extreme Hulk will start things off. Jason Janowski, Joey Farrat, and Michael Kostaglanis. And then we've got, oh man, hold on a minute. I'm lost in my lineups here, and this is not ideal.
We got twin sixes,
Gotcha.
Ignatovich and Jack
Heald. Why am I losing? This is just brutal stuff here. Here we go. All right, I got my stuff. I had my papers all. Amir Shida and Jed Blau, a new face in the lineup from a game ago, native of England. Then we've got Spencer Powell, Damian Didai, and then Vios Papadudis will be in goal for Lansing Common. Apologize there, folks. My papers are all misoriented, and I didn't have everything in order, but we do now, as that will be the starters here for Lansing Common. On the other side, not totally sure exactly what the lineup's going to look like for Ypsilanti Athletic Football Club, but we shall see when they run out on the field and take the pitch right before opening kickoff.
We know Tommy Day is going to be between the sticks. We know the head coach's name is Lucky. And, folks, we shouldn't be so rough on our visitors. We'll give you a little peek behind the curtain. The starting lineup is conveyed to our staff here at Lansing Common at the moment that Brent Sorg writes it on the dry erase board in the locker room. And you don't always know when that's going to happen. That could be 2 hours before kickoff. That could be, as it was today, closer to a half hour before kickoff. And so that is always unpredictable.
Right.
That is the way that is conveyed to the rest of the team and onto the starting 11 graphic, which is being designed up here in the booth, mere feet from where we're standing today. So as we get ready to roll out the ball, as you can see on those flags across the field, they are standing tall today, and so we are going to see a little bit of a wind from west to east that should continue throughout this game, and hopefully that doesn't screw up too badly with any of the players.
As Josh mentioned, Tommy Day will be opposite of Vios Papadudis for Ypsilanti Athletic Football Club as kickoff is moments away here from Eastern Stadium. 4:11 the current time, Eastern time here in Lansing, Michigan. 58 degrees is the current temperature.
Another little trick here at Lansing Common, we advertise a 4 p.m. start time. We get a little bit of a late arriving crowd, and so we will never start a game at the time we say we're going to. 11 minutes after the top of the hour is just about right.
We are underway here from Eastern Stadium. First possession of the game goes to Ypsilanti Athletic. Like I mentioned earlier, Brent Sorg hopes to win the first 10 minutes, so we shall see if the Robins can hold true to that goal as Athletic is now pushing it forward. And a quick offsides right there for Athletic FC.
Tough missed tackle by Amir Shataya there to almost put Ipsy on the front foot. He had a long rehab stint this off-season for us, in-season for Purdue Fort Wayne, where he plays his college ball. And we hope to see him, something that we've never seen with him at Lansing Common in the summer, a full season of full health for Amir.
Neon green kits for the visitors, and then the home kits are a very nice design for Lansing Common here. Last week they went with the typical red kits. This week going with something a little different here on the second game of this season.
I don't even know what you'd call it. It does show up real nicely on the field as Extreme steps in.
Blau a shot towards the net, and this one bounces off the top crossbar and away. A nice first chance right there for the Robins. Quickly into this one, a minute 16 in.
Jed Blau from the right fullback position, showing off that left foot as he probably could have bent that around the keeper if he had tried for that far post. Goes right at him and still almost snuck it by Tommy.
Goal kick off the head of a Robin and then played by FC and then played back to Spencer Powell for Lansing Common.
I want to shout out our live stream live viewing audience. We had incredible engagement in the comments last week as Laboka FC were the visitors. We'll see what this week is like. Shout out Leonard from Australia.
Leonard Gregory, a big fan here of Lansing Common FC.
Shouldn't even put him on the spot like that. Don't know if he's watching. It's probably like 4 a.m. over there on the other side of the world, but he does like to tune in from his desk when it works.
Shataya will attempt the first corner of the afternoon for Lansing Common FC. They've already had one quick chance for Spencer Powell earlier. He plays it towards the net, off the noggin of a Robin and over the head of the net.
Really interesting to see. Jed Blau came in with that attempt on the last chance with his left, and Amir taking that corner with his left. Rare that you got two fullbacks that capable with what would typically be the off foot. So we'll see how that evolves, how that shapes up throughout the game. Janowski with a great opportunity, totally onside, just couldn't bring it down with his chest.
And Jason Janowski in the last game in the 46th minute scored the first goal of the season for Lansing Common FC. As the throw-in is played nicely by the Robins and then taken away for the moment by Ypsilanti. Falling to the ground is Jack Heald. He gets back up on his feet as this one's played out to Damian Adai.
3 minutes in, I would say two changes from last week. First and most importantly, we have a scoreboard this week, which is wonderful. But second, great energy, and really you can see the quality of Lansing Common to a degree that you could not at the beginning last week.
Janowski plays it in. Nice defensive effort there, but it's still a chance for Common, and this one's blocked away by Powell of Ypsilanti FC.
Great defending there with the thigh. Young Luke Powell wearing 75. Not often a number you see on the soccer field, but I love that. I love the unconventional from the center back.
First 4 minutes, possession has stayed mostly with the Robins. And again, the goal is to win the first 10 minutes as Jed Blau has possession of it on the right-hand side. He plays it forward to Jason Janowski, who's wrestled down by Kiambo of Ypsilanti. And the visitors will take over possession deep in their own end.
Mike Kiamba recovering a lost shin guard, too.
And possession will be for Common as the throw-in by Jed Blau. Blau plays it back now forward for Lansing Common FC. And Ypsilanti will take back over.
Great defending from Jed, and that's what you like to see and what we need to see. Lansing Common's always had strong wingers. Max Crawford joining us as a player coach this year, but not in the roster quite yet. Need to have a strong substitute and hopefully long-term replacement, as young Max Crawford has now graduated from Aurora and is not getting any younger.
It's now been a week and a half since this team has been assembled. Lots more practices under their belt than there was prior to the first game. Only had 2 total team practices before taking on Leboka last weekend. So this weekend, the chemistry, I'm sure, will be on a much more potent level than it was. As taking control of it now for Lansing Common. Up the right-hand side is Extreme Hauk.
Extreme was held on by Luke Powell on the other side of the formation. Didn't seem to realize how much of a head start he had on the defenders on the front side of the play because they were calling for an offside as the ball comes in.
Shataya towards the net. This one bounced back. Dangerous chance right here for Ypsilanti if they can't clear it away. Another attempt by Spencer Powell goes high of the net, and he's frustrated right there because he knew he put a little too much mustard on it.
An audacious attempt from Spencer Powell, who's typically seen scoring with his head, decides to take a swing with his right and sends it way over. Not hearing the Notre Dame fight song from the supporting faithful on the other side. Did that miss the pylon? That was not a good field goal? Okay, okay. Just wanted to keep him honest over there.
We've got a whistle here on the pitch and a stoppage in play. This possession will be taken back over by Lansing Common. Free kick ensues, and it's played back for the Robins. Trying to work the middle is Lansing Common FC. It's played outside.
So interesting so far. So much of the buildup has been around young Jed Blau there in the right fullback position. I'd be curious a couple things. One, where he plays at Cleary, where he plays with Jack Heald, and second, what their buildup looks like and whether he's such an important part of it.
Here's Janowski using that speed and a slide tackle to perfection from Ypsilanti.
Third corner for Lansing Common, just 7.5 minutes into this one.
And it's going to be Shataya taking it again for the Robins.
I just alluded to this, but Jed Blau and Jack Heald play their college ball together at Cleary. They are also both English, as they are joined by, I believe, a third member of that Cleary squad as Amir lines up the corner.
English Cleary Cougars. The corner is played in, knocked away, still a chance for Common, and it's in.
Goodness.
Jason Janowski, his second goal of the season, and it's 1-0 here early, only 8 minutes in.
As he did last week to calm hearts and level and go up one a little later in the game in the second half, or just before halftime last week, Jason Janowski just calmly slotted that one home from the top of the 18, found the back post, and in the back of the net.
Again, that's Janowski's second goal of the season, third overall team goal of the year for Lansing Common, and it comes at the 8-minute mark of this first half.
Tommy Day will want that one back, but truth be told, I don't think he could even see Janowski or the soccer ball.
Yeah, the crowding inside most definitely caused the vision of Tommy Day to be less than ideal. As how can Ypsilanti FC respond after a quick strike from Jason Janowski to put the Robins up by 1 early? Adai and Powell working back and forth, and this one's played forward to Jed Blau. Visitors take over. Inside-outside game as this one's taken back by Damian Adai. And the Robins take back over possession as this one's played forward, and chasing towards it is Joey Farrat, but this one will scoot out of play.
You could clearly hear Sorg, despite being against the wind, yelling too easy as the buildup from Ipsy there was butter smooth, but snuffed out quickly. And I'd say they've really only had 2 half chances, as one was offsides, and you saw the other just snuffed out quickly.
A quick whistle. Possession stays Common as Shataya will throw it in from the far corner. Extreme Hout controls. Now it's played back towards the net, and a jumping catch by Tommy Day. The wind kind of got a hold of that one.
Was just going to note that Damian Adai, despite being back in the center back position, being a part of the buildup is going to be something that we can expect to see throughout this year. He's going to be a consistent part of that back line if he can stay healthy, as he did not last year. But he's an athlete. He's not your typical center back. Really, really quick, fleet of feet, and plays multiple sports at St. John's High School.
That's a nice effort right there from Kiambo of the visiting Ypsilanti Athletic Football Club. Possession goes to the visitors. The free kick ensues, and it's sent down off the head of Spencer Powell. Slipping towards it, and now a chance can build here for Common as up the field.
Numbers.
Here they go. Numbers for the Robins, sent towards the net, and it goes wide left. That one was a missed opportunity for sure for the home team.
Mikey Costaglanis got his hand up to say, yeah, my bad. They did have numbers on that one. That was a tidy 4-on-3 opportunity, and he thought he could beat Tommy Day. Couldn't get it on target.
Goal kick from Tommy Day. Bounces up in the air for a moment, and then now it's controlled by Almataz and Kiambo. Played back to Spencer Powell, and the Robins will reset offensively and try to work things through. Here they go. They've got a chance, and this one's intercepted by Humphreys of the visitors. Nice job to get a foot in there by Humphreys as Ypsilanti tries to respond. Here now 11 minutes in as Common leads 1-0 at Eastern Stadium in the second home game of the season for the Robins. Second straight friendly to begin the 2026 campaign. Powell goes down, and this one's played back to Jed Blau. And the first touch of the evening for Papadudis is kicked away to Damian Adai, and Adai plays it forward on the other side to Shataya.
Love to see that effort from Amir in the first few minutes of this one, going like gangbusters to collect that loose ball.
Here comes Shataya now. That's a nice get in for the Robins. That one goes awry. So unfortunately for Common, nothing could build from that chance, but a nice setup right there from Shataya using that speed on the left-hand side.
Jason Janowski lining up this corner with his right foot.
Fourth corner of the contest so far for the Robins as Janowski sends it through. And a jumping grab by Tommy Day right out of the air to get it out of harm's way as he boots this one high into the Lansing sky. It bounces all the way back to Jed Blau.
Alex Vulgar was making an effort at that one, and he could have very easily redirected that one around his keeper for a unintentional own goal. Couldn't quite get high enough.
Got a car horn going off in the parking lot, which clearly, I guess, adds to the noise and the ambiance of the arena so far. As Tommy Day stepped way outside of his comfort zone, able to boot that one away out of play and harm's way for Lansing Common, but they've kept possession of it for majority of the contest as Amir Shataya has control on the left-hand side and plays it into Janowski, the goal scorer, moments ago.
Joey Farhat really thought he had something there. He's playing the 10 today, more of an attacking mid, as compared to most often for Lansing Common seen in one of those twin sixes positions. So the offside flag goes up for the first time today on the Robins. But he does play throughout the formation at Aquinas and likes to play the 10 in college, and so he's comfortable there. And Brent Sorg decided to trot him out in the attacking mid position this afternoon. No surprise to see the coaches trying new things in a friendly here. Just see what they got, and we will probably see a whole lot of substitutions at halftime of this one.
Even in net for the Robins as well. Vias Papadudis came in the second half of the game against Laboca. So gets the start here today. We'll see how long that goes if a change is made at halftime. As we're 15 minutes through, Common leads 1-0. So far, it's been all Lansing, and the Robins have really kept possession of the ball nicely. Comparatively to how it was against Laboca, it felt like Laboca FC had a plethora of chances. They just weren't able to capitalize on most. Was only able to net one.
They
through full time.
They were incredibly aggressive.
Most definitely.
Often to the detriment of themselves because they got in conflict with the rule book, stepping offsides quite a bit.
I was going to say, I think there was at least 8 offside calls in the entirety of the game, maybe even more, on one of the same players. It was their captain, number 4. I'll tell you what, they were just ahead of the game too much. That most definitely cost them.
Yeah, that level of aggression was certainly unexpected and certainly caught a Lansing Common squad that was not used to playing together a little bit off guard. Eventually settle into the game with that Jason Janowski goal in the 48th minute, I believe, of extra time in the first half.
Janowski to Shataya, inside chance off the crossbar of the goalpost. American football goalpost sends that one awry. So we've got one off the crossbar of the goal, a crossbar of the goalpost, and one that's gone wide and high.
That attempt was taken by Jack Heald, just to correct the record. Want to make sure any of Jack Heald's family members who have tuned in from Mansfield, England, make sure they've got their stat sheet up to date with that missed attempt. A lot of commonalities between Ypsilanti Athletic FC and the home squad Lansing Common. They are a 501c3 organization that exists to give free or low-cost access to the game and also build community in their hometown of Ypsilanti. They play in a lower level, the MUSL. However, in 2020, when Lansing Common was founded, we were looking at a few different options of where to play, and that was on the list. The Midwest Premier League was founded that same year and just came to be a better fit. The multi-state model and the little bit higher level of play matched up what we were looking at a little bit better than some of those Michigan-based leagues.
Blau plays it ahead. It's a nice defensive effort by Humphreys of the visitors, knocks it out of play, but Common will have possession, and the throw-in will come from Mikey Kostaglanis. Kostaglanis throws it in. Extreme Hauk double teamed in that near side corner. And he'll toss it in once more, and that's off his foot. So Lansing loses possession to Ypsilanti Athletic. Fought for by Kiombo and a couple of Robins, and then ultimately won by Lansing Common. Here comes Shataya. Lots of space. Plays it in to Extreme Hauk, who sends it towards the net and in.
Great finish by Extreme there with his left foot.
Lansing Common goal makes it 2-0 here, 18:40 into the contest, and Extreme Hauk gets on the board for the first time this season.
Extreme, of course, out of East Lansing, and a lot in common between that one and Janowski's first, as he just settled it, calmly picked his spot out, and found the back post.
Scored in the 19th minute, put in by number 9, Extreme Hauk.
Found out before the game that Extreme's middle name is Chance. Extreme Chance Hauk.
Takes advantage of a great chance there.
Most definitely does. How can Ypsilanti FC respond after quickly finding themselves still with a goose egg on the scoreboard and 2 in favor of Lansing Common? 20 minutes through, and the Robins have most definitely won that first 20. He's playing it up the left-hand side is Kiombo for the visitors. Trying to make a move, plays it in, no one there.
Great defending by Jeb Blau there.
Yeah, most definitely.
Not trying to do too much, just stay in front of him. Let him take the low percentage shot, and he does, and missed it by about 15 yards.
Couple of substitutions getting ready to enter the game for the visitors.
Number 8 and 39.
Jan Borden, number 39 for the visitors, getting ready to enter. So the Robins have a chance inside now. As a nice slide tackle made by number 31 for the visitors, Volger. As he knocks that one out of play and prevents Janowski from getting a second chance.
He took Janowski's legs right out from under him, just next to the penalty spot. You got to think in a 0-0 league match, the refs might have given that one a closer look, but quickly and calmly points right to the corner, where Janowski will get a chance to pop this one into the box.
It's been all Common here possession-wise and on the scoreboard, as Janowski will attempt the corner kick with his right foot. Opts to just play it out to Shataya, who fires it towards the net and in off the deflection.
Lansing Common goal!
The goal scored by number 8, Jack Heald, off the deflection, and it's 3-0 favoring the home team.
Ypsi Athletic calling for offsides, and folks at home might be wondering why that is. There was a Lansing Common player who was in an offside position, who they are arguing interfered with the goalkeeper's ability to play the ball, which would be offside. The referee assuring them that player, while offside, did not impact the play, did not attempt to make a play on the ball, and was not in a position to interfere with the goalkeeper. So that is a good goal. 3-0 to the good in the 22nd minute. A little more comfortable than last week for sure.
Janowski wearing 7, Jack Heald wearing 8, and Extreme Hawk wearing 9. 7-8-9, the goal scorers here for Lansing Common, and that's the score, 3-0, favoring the Robins. Entering the game now for the visitors, number 37, Jaden Huxtable. As he's in, and 39, like we mentioned earlier, Jan Borden will enter the game, as well as number 8 for the visitors. Mike Combo. Fast start here for the Robins through the first 20 minutes. And Ypsilanti looks to respond, as through 2 games against this squad, they now trail 10-0 all time on the scoreboard. It's, of course, last year's 7-0 defeat for Lansing Common, as we have an injured player from Ypsilanti FC down on the pitch.
Going in, number 39, Jan Borden. Number 8, Mohammed Babakaba.
Diabate was the player in question who was down on the playing field.
39, Jaden Huxtable.
Ibrahima Diabate. Talking to the official now as he's made his way up to his own 2 feet, which is good to see. Never want to wish injury on any player. He looks to be okay. And play resumes here at Eastern Stadium. Tight pressure by Ypsilanti FC. They're going to try everything they can here as this game ensues, because it's already 3-0, and the Robins trying to look for more. Jason Janowski up the left-hand side.
That was a great turn by Andy Ignatovich to get out of that pressure, and just after taking a couple paces up the field, a great outside foot pass up ahead to Janowski to set that off. We have not said young Andy Ignatovich's name much today, but really showing off why he's starting in that twin 6 position opposite Jack Heald.
Goal kick incoming for Tommy Day. Trying to will his team down the field as the wind got in the way of that one, and Common will take back over and control possession as they have for a majority of the contest. This one's played forward to Kiombo, and then this one knocks out of play, but still stays possession Ypsilanti.
No sooner do I go out of my way to praise him, Andy Ignatovich dispossessed there. But his teammates were there to back him up. You saw Jed Blau running to backfill the empty space. Jack Heald coming to clean up the mess.
Backtracking is Damian Adai. He'll play it for Papadudis, who kicks it up to Shataya on the left-hand side. Couldn't get there in time. And this one floats out of play. Possession Ypsilanti. Tight pressure by Extreme Hawk, who almost got control of it. But it's played back to number 5 for the visiting team, who is not listed on the roster. So we will see if we can get a name for him as soon as we possibly can. I'll tell you what, the roster's information systems so far here this afternoon have been less than ideal, but we shall see if that can increase the more the game goes on.
Friendlies do not count on the stat sheets, but do not tell that to Lansing Common team historian Jordan Stoddard, who does track stats for all of our friendlies.
That's what I was told before the game last week.
You want to make sure you sit near Jordan Stoddard if you're at an away game of a team that doesn't have a scoreboard, because he's got the scoreboard app with the clock ready to go for your easy referencing. not going to use any names to protect the innocent, as it is a new season. So
this one blasted out of play by Tommy Day. So far through the first 26 minutes, Ypsilanti has really nothing to show for offensively, as all of the chances have come on the side of Lansing Common. Shataya plays it back to Damian Adai. Adai, a nice outlet pass up ahead for Common. This one sent towards the net by Costaglanis and wide. Again, Josh, time and time again for the Robins, seems like chances are coming left and right.
what I like that I've seen today from the home side is just a really solid and repeated ability to sustain possession and gradually build up. That patience is something that's rare on any summer team, but certainly not something we see out of every Lansing Common squad.
Hand goes up from the official, and grabbing the shin is a member of Ypsilanti Athletic. That's number 31, Volger. He returns to his feet as well. Many less stoppages here in this first half of action than there were last weekend against Laboca. It's a whistle on the free kick. And hurling it back with the right arm is Damian Adai. Alex Volger, player in question, attempting this free kick after falling down and kicked in the shin. Sends it towards and plays it forward to Kiambo. Kiambo trying to get towards it. Unable to control it cleanly. Ypsilanti is just looking to get into their zone and set something up offensively for the first time here in this game. Robins have yet to make a substitution here in this first half, as we've approached 30 minutes gone by in the first stanza. Toying with it was Papadudis. He plays it out to Shataya, who's got serious speed on the left-hand side. The pressure is most definitely amped up for Ypsilanti, and how could it not after finding themselves down 3-0?
Yeah, they might have remembered that they've got more than 20 in the traveling squad today. So in a friendly, unlimited substitutions, just go all out. Come out when you're tired.
Reed Harmon, a substitute, getting ready to enter the game as soon as possible for Ypsilanti. Of course, you can see him on the bottom of your screen. But again, none yet for the Robins. We'll see if that changes here throughout the course of the contest.
Nobody getting warm either. So coaching staff happy with what they've seen so far.
Costaglanis plays it back to Pau, who attempted a chance forward. This one booted all the way up the left-hand side. Chasing after it is Shataya, and Amir Shataya couldn't get there in time. It rolls out of play and up towards the fence. Substitution will take place, as entering the game, as I mentioned, is Reed Harmon. And he will replace, for the visitors, number 18, Kiambo.
Just waiting for him to turn around so we can see the number. Sorry, Mike. We're not familiar with your face yet.
Yeah, sorry, Mike. Maybe we'll issue a formal apology after the game to our friend Mike Kiambo. Nonetheless, play goes on, and Common plays it towards the far corner, and Janowski could not get there.
The Ypsi defenders gave up on that ball, and Jason Janowski made a run to try and make him pay for that, but unable to get there in time. very interesting today, something that does not normally happen. We've got the visitors wearing jersey colors that are almost indistinguishable from our staff shirts.
Yeah, all the men and women working the game here for Lansing Common blend right in with the opposing team. So maybe another coaching tactic to combat their late starting lineup arrival. Falling to the ground for the visitors is Humphreys. He gets back up. The throw-in will ensue for the Robins. Janowski was cornered down there, able to get out of there for the moment, but then Ypsilanti takes back over. Visitors trying to put together and piece together some offense. As we've approached 33 minutes and counting here in this first half of action. 3-0 the score, favoring Lansing Common. You don't necessarily want to relax because practice does make perfect if you are the Robins, but you do know that with a comfortable lead like this, you can kind of try some things that you wouldn't necessarily do, not only in a league game, but also a friendly, might I add. As a chance inside is quickly scooped up by Tommy Day. Chasing after that was Joey Farhat.
I can promise you today's halftime speech from Brent Sorg will be a good one. It will be just as intense as if they were down 3-0. He will be calling for the team to respect the fact that they've earned this clean sheet through 45, if they do make it through the next 12 without conceding. He will be telling them to keep the foot on the gas pedal, continue to pour in goals, and continue to maintain the same level of defensive intensity.
Costaglanis looking towards it, a nice slide tackle made by Alex Volger of the visitors. He's played well defensively, been at least a little bit of a bright spot for Ypsilanti, but he finds himself down now grabbing his head. Looks like that hit the turf when he made that tackle. Thankfully, he makes his way to his feet, and play will go on momentarily as a corner kick will happen from the foot of Amir Shataya. But before that, another player is to be helped up by the official from the visiting squad. Some substitutions. The first for Common will be number 5, Elijah View. The secondary assist to Sekou Doumbouya's game-winning goal last weekend. He'll enter the game. And also for the visitors,
Lansing Common substitution going in.
It'll be number 4, who has a nice hooded look. I like that. That's very different.
Replaces number 19, Andy Ignatovich.
And Andy Ignatovich will exit the game for the Robins. And number 4 will enter for the visitors. Another player whose name has yet to be shared with us. We hope to see that very soon as the corner is played. Outstretched from Extreme Hawk, who could not get there.
Yeah, I think the wind interfered with that one a little bit, as it would be rare to see Amir Shataya send a corner out of bounds harmlessly like that.
Sent to the ground and colliding was a Robin and a member of Ypsilanti FC. The official waves over and potentially calls the trainer. Running out to check things out. And surrounding him are his teammates. It's a little far away for me to tell, but I believe that is
Jack Heald.
Jack Heald.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, but obviously if somebody's looking a little shaken up, don't want to accidentally
misidentify
their identity. Yeah.
Luckily, Heald is okay and makes his way to his feet. He had the goal scored off the deflection earlier in this contest. Jason Janowski and Extreme Hawk, the other 2 goal scorers. Janowski got us going. The first one of the contest. The visitors have not brought as many fans as Laboca did a game ago.
That would be exceptional if they did.
Extremely impressive. Of course, Laboca, a Lansing-based team. Ypsilanti a little farther away than that, of course. So, like Josh mentioned, would have been great if they could bring a following, but totally understandable if that was not possible. Play resumes, and Tommy Day sends it into the crisp Lansing air.
Obviously not something we track, but I would not be surprised if Laboca brought the most substantial amount of visiting support we've ever seen here at Eastern Stadium, as there were probably 100 people here on the left side of this home grandstand.
For sure. And they weren't just there. They were there and they were active. Any call that went their way, any call that went the way of Lansing Common was much to the dismay of the fans, even if it was a completely valid call by the official. And any call that went the way of the visitors last weekend was cherished and loved by the fans in attendance as well. As the Robins try to play it forward and attempt to add to their 3-0 lead that they've built so far. Racing towards it and covering it up is Tommy Day. He corrals it with ease, no harm, no foul for the home squad. Delayed whistle there from the official, as on the ground is Joey Farhat.
Yeah, no advantage called there, as the ball was at the feet of Jack Heald. A little strange, as he was the one that took the free kick anyway. So just a brief pause and on we go.
Racing it up the left-hand side is Janowski, plays it in, and the new substitute in number 4 knocks it away before Common takes back over. That's played back to Spencer Powell.
That cross was never going to find friendly feet in a dangerous space, because Janowski pulled the trigger a little bit too soon, and his teammates had simply not caught up to him and were not in the box yet.
Powell plays it inside, and it's intercepted and knocked all the way back. Spencer Powell will hold off his teammates, and Papadudis will reset and collect for Lansing Common. Spencer Powell plays his college ball at Detroit Mercy. The Titan played at Michigan State earlier this season. A captain for his Detroit Mercy squad. We've got an advantage here for Common. Ypsilanti has to be careful, and they knock it away for the moment.
That was a dangerous square pass right into the chest of another Ypsi defender that popped up in the air and could have been trouble.
Trouble evaded by the visitors as we've reached the 40-minute mark of this first half of action. And off the back of the foot of Diabate and out of play. And played forward for the Robins. Dancing around with it is Extreme Hawk. Plays it back to Spencer Powell. Lansing Common has a nice cushion here so far that they've built in this game against the team that they defeated 7-0 a season ago, as Kostaglanis collides with Volger. Alex Volger has been at the forefront of many slide tackles on that right-hand side. This time gets up with ease. Last time grabbed his forehead. They may have collided with the turf. Still down on one knee, though.
Fish Fry and Grill, proud sponsor of Lansing Common FC.
Another corner will ensue for the Robins off the foot of Amir Shataya after Alex Volger gets checked out.
And that's a dangerous place on the field for that sort of thing to happen, regardless of the outcome. As you can see here at Eastern Stadium, unfortunately, we've got some track and some cement that starts just a couple yards after the end line on both sides. And you know, I'm not familiar enough with track and field to know the extent that that's necessary, but certainly has almost caused some really serious injuries multiple times here.
Shataya starts on the aforementioned concrete and track to attempt the corner. It's off the head of Spencer Powell, and out of play goes that attempt for Lansing Common.
Easily won by Spencer Powell, and easy for me to say as I'm not on the field, but a little surprising to see him not get on top of that one and put it down. Instead, getting under it and popping it up. He's one of the most capable and skilled players with his head I've ever seen, and just misplayed that one, unfortunately.
Possession goes to the Robins here in the waning moments of this first half. Last weekend in the first half, 6 additional minutes of added time were added to the clock against Laboca. We'll see how many minutes are added here shortly, as this one's played towards the net and scored.
Saucy Extreme Hawk with the
Extreme
chest.
Hawk with the chest, his second of the afternoon, and it is now 4-0 favoring the Robins, as number 9 has his second goal of the afternoon.
We talked earlier about this a little bit, but Damien Adai started that off from the center back position. He played a scorcher of a ball that Jed Blau tried to get his foot on, couldn't, and went through. Fortunately, another Robin was there to collect, but just an incredible diagonal ball that set that all up. And again, you see the results of the sustained buildup and the patient play in possession of the Robins.
Felt like last weekend it was a little rushed at times for this team, and of course, like I mentioned earlier, lots more practice under their belt than there was a week ago with each other. That is paying off in dividends here. It is 4-0 favoring the home squad as we approach the 45th minute of this first half.
Jason Janowski with the assist on that one from the left wing position. He has sent a number of quality balls into the box this afternoon, and sent that one directly to Extreme Hawk's chest, and he was able to just maneuver it into the back of the net around the keeper there. But wonderful team play.
Ypsilanti just looking to get some sustained pressure offensively and mirror what Lansing Common's been able to do throughout a majority, or if not all, this first half. As Vios Papadoudas has not had to work for pretty much anything on his side of the field. Janowski plays the ball on the left-hand side. We've reached 45, so we'll see how much additional minutes are added to the clock. This one's kept alive by Common, and a nice move made by Extreme. Already got 2 here this afternoon. Ball played towards Costaglanis, but he couldn't get a step on it, and it goes out of play.
Just a little bit of miscommunication. Extreme went for the ball, quickly realized he wasn't going to be able to get there in time, laid up, but going for it caused Mikey to just lay back a little bit, and that caused it to sail over his head and out of play.
4-0 the score, favoring Common. As the officials have blown the whistle, and that is all she wrote for the first half of play, in a dominant showing. The Robins, a 4-goal lead at the break. And Josh, that's the start that we want if you're a Lansing Common fan.
Yeah, absolutely. In this friendly, no surprise perhaps to see the officials say, I don't want to mess with extra time today. And going into the halftime locker room strong. We'll see you back here in 15 minutes, folks.
Yeah, 15 minutes will go by before Josh and I return to the airwaves. 4-0 the score. Lansing Common over Ypsilanti Athletic FC right here on LCFC TV. Welcome back here to Eastern Stadium, moments away from the second half of action. Jack Bowinkle, Josh Pugh here to bring you all of the action. 4-0 the score, favoring the Robins. As Lansing Common got off to a hot start. As a goal from Jason Janowski, Jack Heald, and 2 in the first frame from Extreme Hawk makes the score 4-0. Where we stand right now in the second half is underway. Teams have swapped sides. Few substitutions for Lansing Common. We'll get to those in a moment. In goal, though, remains the same as Vios Papadudis, still between the sticks for the Robins. On the other side, remaining the same as well.
I think we do have a
Tommy
substitute, but it's hard to tell because the Ypsi keeper is no longer wearing a number. So.
Gabriel Pinzone is the new keeper in question.
Maybe. We were told
potentially.
We were told Gabriel was a keeper who did not have a number, but because he's numberless, conceivably he could be anybody.
Yeah, it could be anybody. It could be anybody here at Eastern Stadium. Of course, in these friendlies, I mentioned in the first half, communication, lineups, all those good things aren't always on top, but nonetheless, play will go on in a 4-0 game favoring the Robins, as second half gives a chance for many different players to showcase their skills on the field. Not only is it a friendly, but it's also a friendly going heavily in favor of the home team.
We raved about Damien Adai's speed and prowess with his feet and versatility. And Coach Brent Sorg has said that's right and then some, as he has moved him out to right back, pulling Jed Blau to the bench. Damien Adai making the start for the second half over at the fullback position.
And Archie Tyers will replace Damien Adai in his said position. Tyers a starter last weekend against Laboca FC. He's now in the game for Lansing Common. So the Robins try to build off of a very impressive first half of action. Almost a collision there between the head of number 5 Elijah View and a member of Ypsilanti. Luckily it's avoided though.
Additional halftime subs for the Robins include Carter Hagan at the striker position, replacing Extreme Hawk, and Nettie Omar wearing number 11, replacing Jason Janowski at the left wing. Nettie, the latest addition of the Omar family to make his Lansing Common debut, following Shetty, season 1 striker. And then a couple others whose names I've forgotten, and Scott's not here to bail me out.
Shetty and Nettie, I like that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's good stuff. Throw in for Shataya, who plays it back to Archie Tyers. It's now Tyers and Powell back there for the Robins. As it goes out of play, and possession will go to Common.
Fetty, Omar, and Sammy Omar, the remaining members of the Omar family. I believe that Sammy has retired from playing soccer as he is pursuing his pre-med degree.
Quick chance into the net and scored. Lansing Common gets on the board quick here in the second half, and that is Damien Adai, the speedster.
Not making a liar out of us as he slots that one home with one touch off the chance there.
5-0 the score. Common only sits 2 goals away from matching last year's total against Ypsilanti, and that aforementioned 7-0 defeat of the visitors a season ago.
We also said in the first half that Coach Brent Sorg would likely have an intense message for the boys at halftime, regardless of what the scoreline was, and he did not make a liar of us in that respect either. The one word written on the board was standards, and he wanted the boys to hear from him about the high standards that he expected. He said he doesn't care what the scoreline is at the 50th minute or at the 90th minute. He cares that they play with the same level of intensity they did in the first minute. And we have seen that so far.
Not even 5 minutes into the second half of action, Lansing Common gets on the board thanks to Damien Adai, a native of St. John's, Michigan. Ypsilanti just trying to get on the scoreboard, something that's been difficult for them to do against Common at all. They try to play it forward. Archie Tyers a little mishandling defensively. 67 and 76 substitutions into the game for the visitors. 76 is Jose Shea Ganan. One of many, many substitutes for the visitors in the neon green kits. Tyers boots it away. And with lots of space moving ahead of the pack is Carter Hagan. Hagan slows up and plays it back to Nettie Omar. Nice defensive skills from the visitors to knock that one out of play. And that is the aforementioned 67.
Number 11, Nettie Omar. And number 6, Joey Farhat.
Throw in for Common. Carter Hagan. Utilizing those skills. That one will pop out of play in possession of the visitors, and Ypsilanti will look to move quick. As in a 5-0 game, they have anything at their disposal to try and get on this scoreboard. here in this second half. Sifting through the defense. A nice chance inside towards the net. No real effort made and out of play. Papadudis not really tested there on that offensive attack. But a corner will ensue for Ypsilanti. It'll be number 41, Sean White, to boot it towards with the right foot.
A little disappointed not seeing the trademark red hair of the more famous Sean White, but maybe this one will show some flair with his feet.
White plays it in.
Oh, not so.
Not even close. Unfortunately for Sean White, there's no flair in the hair or the foot as the ball rolls out of play. This game, a much different style than the first game we saw. Fiercely competitive, friendly. A 2-1 game. Common was able to beat Laboca FC last weekend. Nettie Omar plays it in. Wrapping around is Elijah View. A nice slide tackle on number 4 from the visitors to get it out of harm's way. And Ypsilanti looks to counter.
A little bit of playing with their food there by the attack, as there was a lot of kicking the ball around and not a lot of looking to go forward. Almost asking for a turnover in those circumstances.
Good clean play is important always, but especially when up by this much, just to keep those habits at a reasonable level. Archie Tyers, another native of England on this team. And of course, as a substitute in this second half.
We haven't seen it much, but you did see Carter Hagan there misjudge and misplay that one. That ball did get taken for a ride by the wind. And so he went to where he thought it was going to end up, and it just it dipped up a little bit on him and caused him to run underneath it.
Here is Hagan, though, keeping it alive for the Robins. Carter Hagan dancing. Someone's played out to Joey Farhat. And then back to Spencer Powell, and he'll reset with Tyers. Number 37 showing the hustle from the opposing team. That's Jaden Huxtable. He came in 25 minutes into the first frame as a substitute and hasn't left since. Lansing Common playing the ball up with Mikey Costaglanis.
Mikey just gave that a little bit too heavy of a touch and bounces out of play.
Gabriel Pinzon, the goalkeeper in all black here for the visiting Ypsilanti FC. Nice footwork there from the visitors. That's number 76, Jose Shai Ganon. Spencer Powell again using that head to his advantage. There's a nice setup and a chance right here for Common. Can they execute? A diving save by the goalkeeper, but still a chance for the Robins to reset. Playing it in, held up. Fans aren't going to like that one. And the hand goes in the air and a stoppage on the pitch. Oh, showing off the strength. Right there is Damian Adai as he pops up. No harm, no foul.
I've never seen the push-ups out of an injury scare before, but glad he appears to be okay.
Maybe just reassuring his teammates, friends, and family in attendance that he is all right. As Damian Adai showcases the strength to getting up from the injury. 56-minute mark here at Eastern Stadium. 5-0 the score, favoring the Robins on Mother's Day. Flags waving in the air for the supporters, currently off screen. As everybody tries to set things up here for this kick, and we'll see if it's Damian Adai or Jack Heald who decides to take it. It's the third option. This one's bounced off of a couple of defenders from the visitors and slotted home. It is 6-0 Lansing Common.
The free kick deflected right back to the feet of somebody down there. As soon as he turns, we'll get his number and we'll know who that was. But that deflection ends up with a retry that ends up in the back of the net.
6 goals scored for Lansing Common. It appears that that was Amir Shataya on the effort for the Robins.
And that was my mistake on the call. I thought that was Amir, but for some reason I thought Amir had subbed off, and I thought that can't be right. Amir Shataya has been making his impact felt all game, and finally slots one home.
That gives 5 different goal scorers on 6 total goals here for the Robins in this contest, showcasing the depth of this lineup and ability for them to have production all around the pitch. Ypsilanti trying to counter and respond, as it is now 6-0. Another chance for Lansing Common, and got to be careful as Gabriel Pinzone successfully gets it out of harm's way. Well, then bounces out of play. Possession will be Lansing Common. And I have a feeling that head coach Brent Sorg would just prefer for Vios Papadudis to stay in the game because he hasn't really faced many chances, so maybe still trying to give him a couple of reps in the net before making a substitution, because Papadudis has really just been able to chill on his side of the field.
Has been good with the ball at his feet, though, as this squad is not hesitant to play the ball back to the keeper, play out of the back, and has been under pressure a couple times as a result of that, and has handled it admirably.
A nice job right there from Archie Tyers to thwart the offensive attack from the visitors, but ball goes out of play and possession will stay here with the visiting team. 67 will leave the game, and Yasir Almalataz will enter for Ypsilanti.
Yasir was one of the starters for the visitors and returning to the game, as that is legal in a friendly. Although, fun fact, when we enter league play, substitutes can re-enter the game after going to the bench as long as they leave in the first half and re-enter after halftime. And so some interesting Midwest Premier League rules that will lend themselves to some interesting substitution patterns from the coaching staff, as Lansing Common gets ready to make 4 substitutions. The coach giving some last-minute instruction to number 17, Jackson Hagan, number 18, Christian Trunk, number 2, Cullen McKay, and Lazaro Salais wearing number 0, Lansing native.
He will replace Vios Papadudis in the goal, so the native of Germany's afternoon will come to an end the moment Lansing Common is able to substitute in this game. Right now, the Robins in full force. 6 goals from 5 different players, 2 of them from Extreme. He has had a second half to rest after his dominant first half effort. Costaglanis plays it on the right-hand side. And a diving slide tackle from number 4. He gets back up to his feet. A Robin is still down. Ypsilanti tries to take advantage of it, but the ball rolls all the way back into possession of Papadudis. Pau plays it over. Farhat. To Archie Tyers, who sets things up offensively for the Robins. Sliding all over the place is number 4. And I almost want to go down to the bench to get a name for the guy, just so I can highlight and pinpoint his effort. As speaking of effort right there, Mikey Costaglanis was a couple of feet away from getting the 7th goal of the game.
Coach Sorg and his assistants, notably goalkeeping coach Zach Kelly, are going to have some tough decisions to make as we enter league play. Both Lazaro, Solis, and Vios have looked great in the friendlies where we've seen them, and they are going to be joined by Jackson Kiska, making his return to the squad from St. Norbert out in Minnesota, where he had a stellar college season. And so certainly different skills and compliments that each of them bring, but going to be interested to see what the coaching staff decides to do as Lansing Common returns to Midwest Premier League play 1 week from today.
First 2 weeks of the season spent in friendly matches versus Laboca and Ypsilanti FC respectively. Tyers tried to play it forward and then collided with a member of the visiting team. Play is not blown dead, and so Lansing Common will try to take advantage of this right here. Nettie Omar plays it back to Tyers, who will knock it back to the new goalkeeper in Lazaro Solis. 63 minutes and counting played here at Eastern Stadium. It's been all Common. Right now, Ypsilanti just trying to figure things out and get on the scoreboard, play for pride, and find something that they can write home about from this contest. It has just not gone their way here this afternoon. Next weekend, Saturday, May 16th at 6 p.m., 1927 Sport Club comes to town to take on Lansing Common FC. That one again at 6 p.m. on Saturday, May 16th.
Yellow card shown to Lansing Common's number 14. Archie Tyers.
And then very interesting after that, what will probably be a tough test from the boys down from Fort Wayne. Another friendly on a Friday afternoon, hosting Imlay City here in Lansing.
Yellow card has been assessed to Archie Tyers on that collision with a member of the visiting team. The first card assessed here in this second half of action. And it goes on Archie Tyers, who is talking things over with number 37 of the visitors, Jaden Huxtable. Again, you can hear the wind from the crowd mic, and it is most definitely doing it justice, as it is a breezy day once more in back-to-back weeks here at Lansing Common FC's second game of the season. This one played off the back of Cullen McKay. McKay trying to get ahead of the pack, race towards the net. Chance inside, this one off the leg and mishandled by the Robins. That was another chance. A crossing pass from Cullen McKay to Jackson Hagan.
Mason Winkle checking in. Holt product. I have seen a lot of Holt Rams gear around the stadium, and Mr. Winkle is the only Holt Ram to be in the game day roster today, and so making his family happy with a 66th minute debut.
Amir Shataya will take a seat on the bench, scored a goal in this game and showcased his prowess defensively as well. So it appears that his afternoon has come to an end, for good reason as well, as Lansing Common, a full effect performance here so far at the 66th minute as they lead by 6 goals. Ypsilanti just trying to keep themselves afloat, an attempt to get on the scoreboard. Lansing Common, if they listen to Coach Sorg's message, will have none of that. you have to take away from these friendly games, Josh, is take away the positive, of course, take away all that you're able to do, but don't necessarily think that this is how it's going to be for the remaining competitors and not look ahead and think that you are much more than the rest of the opponents on the schedule.
Without knowing anything about this year's edition of 1927 SC, I'll just say I doubt that we're going to see a 6-0 scoreline in that game. Always a tough out, always bring a lot of quality, obviously a lot of history, 99 years of history down in Fort Wayne. And yeah, really always look forward to that one, both making the trip down there. And they certainly always bring a good group of fans. 1927 SC, the first opponent Lansing Common ever played in a friendly, and have enjoyed them as a newer member of the Midwest Premier League, as they have always brought quality since joining the league.
So far, offense has been a quality to write home about for Lansing Common FC, as we've got some extracurriculars happening down on the field. Ypsilanti, a couple of members of their squad getting tied up with a few Robins. And here in a 6-0 game, the chippiness still in full effect. Hug it out, bro. Was just caught on our crowd mic, and you know what? I like that. That's good, solid sportsmanship.
Looks like we're getting a substitution at keeper for Ypsi Athletic. Or maybe number 28 was just having a chat with the fourth official on the sideline judge. Again,
Keeper right now for Ypsilanti Athletic FC, Gabriel Pinzone, has no number. Is just wearing all black with white shorts, as you can see on your screen on the far left. Free kick will ensue for the Robins after that skerfuffle on the right-hand side. 6-0 to score, and the fans here cheering on the Robins have been treated to a masterful offensive performance. This played in and back out for the Robins, and then a lofter of a shot attempt that went way wide.
Audacious take from young Christian Trunk, and he knew it.
Trunk a substitute here in this second half. Did start the game, though, last time out against Laboca. But I think the real test to see who will be in the starting lineup, take away, of course, what all the players have done in these last two games, but conference play, again, begins next week. We shall see what the lineup looks like there, and an easy call offside for the official. Throwing his hand in the air is Kiombo, but he should know that as well. And folks, if you weren't tuned into the game last weekend, the amount of times that what just occurred on the field happened against Laboca was almost unheard of.
Truly special.
Truly special is a great way to put it.
A performance I've never seen.
You know, Laboca FC came into this game, I think, and thought of it as playing FIFA on the setting of no rules.
I got to say, though, for a team to be offside, you know, a half dozen times, or I think you said 8 times in the span of a game, they sure brought a lot of talent.
100%.
And they sure looked really good.
Yes.
And they sure played a tough game.
They did. They did. No doubt about that. Defensively, too, their goalkeeper was fantastic. Diving saves, jumping saves, saved a double doink. Saw everything last weekend. This weekend, a little less competitive, but nonetheless, a nice offensive performance from the Robins. That ball bounces out of play as we've reached the 70th minute. We've only got 20 more or so to go. As entering the game for the Robins will be number 12, Zach Holden, and 24, Gavin Rabideau.
Said earlier on the broadcast, young Zach Holden had a hat trick against last year's edition of Ypsi Athletic. I believe in that moment I also said he wasn't in the game day squad today. So apologies to any friends or family of Zach Holden who may have been disappointed in that moment, who now know he's in the game.
Yeah. Well, Zach Holden has 20 minutes to match that. That would be one of the more impressive feats I've ever seen, if he can net 3 in the next 20 and change. as a corner ensues for the Robins to try to add to their score. Open chance, lots of crowding by the net, and it's cleared, much to the likes of Ypsilanti FC.
9-0 would be a historic result for the club as well.
So far, the only player in this game with 2 goals is Extreme Hawk, and he has not played the entirety of the second half, so I'd be shocked if they throw him in here. So we've got a chance inside now for the Robins. Losing control of it and controlling now is Nettie Omar.
And that was Jackson Hagan, unable to bring the ball down, turn, and get a shot on frame. Jackson Hagan, last summer, most often seen patrolling the sidelines with a camera, joining his brother in the roster this year. Two very convenient hobbies to have for young Jackson Hagan. If your brother's gonna be playing for Lansing Common, it helps to be talented and interested in photography as well as soccer.
Another social media / photographer connoisseur on the team is Jason Janowski, very famous TikTok following, over 100,000 followers on TikTok. Impressive stuff right there from number 7. He got the scoring going early for the Robins. One of 6 goals they've scored. Again, 5 different players have scored. Extreme has 2 of the 6 to round things out for LCFC. Sun has come out here for a sustained period of time, which has been rare in the first 2 games, but luckily here in this second half, more of what we'll be used to here throughout the majority of the summer. And I have to imagine this win that's happening right now is much to the dismay of many fans in attendance, but come mid-July, they'll really be wishing for it.
And what I've recognized about the squad this week is they are playing around the wind much better than they did last week. It really challenged the home side last week. You saw a lot of balls in the air get misjudged, get misplayed, and been much more effective at keeping the ball down. As you saw Damien Adai with that massive cross that set up the 4th goal of the game. Never got more than about 4 feet off the ground, and that's the way you deal with something like this. Is you can't try to beat it. You got to play around it, and been doing a much more effective job of controlling the ball by keeping it on the ground this weekend.
Common trying to add to their impressive offensive performance. Ypsilanti, of course, trying to prevent any more damage done on the scoreboard and stop the bleeding that is in full effect from the Robins. Dictating and throwing it inside, and that's going to be offside right there. Lots of opening space for Carter Hagan, but nothing to show for it as the official blows the whistle.
That was a close one. I don't know that VAR would have held that up, but Carter Hagan caught sniffing a little too early and called offside there.
Ypsilanti will take it. There's not been much that's gone right for them, but a chance right here for the visitors. That is knocked away by Archie Tyers. Tyers was awarded the first yellow card of the entire contest between both teams moments ago, as that long-range bomb of a shot from Yasir Almataz goes wide of the net. Goal kick for Lazaro Solis, Findlay soccer player in his collegiate ranks. Findlay Oilers, Lansing native, as Josh mentioned earlier in the broadcast. All the hometown talent on this team is always a good sign.
Findlay, Ohio, Flag City, USA. Familiar to any Lansing residents who have headed down the highway to Columbus, have seen that sign passing through Findlay.
Driving underneath that overpass, Flag City, USA in Findlay, Ohio.
Ypsilanti substitution going in, number 27, Elijah Lukic.
Elijah Lukic into the game for Ypsilanti FC. This one's played back into the possession of the goalkeeper for the Robins, and then tossed back out. Next 14 minutes or so will just be a game of keep away and killing time, because Lansing FC surely has this one in their control. Tried to play it forward was number 26 of the visitors, Lucas Tomilo. Couldn't get a good foot on it, and Common will take back over. Kept alive for a moment by Ypsilanti. This result is most likely to hold, so I'll say that Lansing Common is 2-0 in their first 2 friendlies of the season. 2-1 victory last weekend, and then as of now a 6-0 lead, an advantage they hold over the visitors from Ypsilanti.
Some gamesmanship from the free kick taker, pushing the ball forward 5 yards. It's only illegal if the ref catches you.
yeah. That could be said for a lot of things in life.
Offsides.
Ball sent quickly back into play. Ypsilanti trying to go quick to potentially get themselves in the scoreboard, but a lot of space freed here for the Robins. That ball will just trickle out of play. Again, 6-0. I don't know about you, Josh. I'm not familiar with the all-time record. You said 9-0 would be the biggest margin of victory in club history.
I'm so glad you asked. In 2021, a road game in a downpour during the Euros final in Mount Clemens against Union Macomb saw a final result of 9-1 to the visiting Robins.
9-1, the visiting team getting on the board there. And here, visiting team not so much. So unfortunately for Ypsilanti, it's going to end in a defeat on the road. And it appeared from their social media that they were expecting to try to keep things competitive, but not necessarily fighting for the win, as a chance with an open net is blocked away by the goaltender, Gabriel Pinzone.
Couple interesting substitutions as number 13, Sidi Mbarak, enters the game. He is the first active Lansing Public Schools student to play. He is currently enrolled at Lansing Eastern High School. Number 20, Drew Leitz, Spring Arbor athlete, the first Spring Arbor player to play for Lansing Common in quite a few years.
Replacing number 16,
Spring Arbor down in Jackson, Michigan.
And number 11, Mehdi Omar.
There's a corner from the Robins. It is knocked away for the moment, but then kept inside. Fighting for it was number 24, Gavin Rabideau. Hope College player. Lansing Catholic was his high school that he attended. Robins keeping it inside, off the head, and knocked away into the air by a couple of Ypsilanti defenders. Still bouncing around is the ball. Lansing Common trying to take advantage of any opening, but none could come at their disposal. 80 minutes and counting here from Eastern Stadium. No goals so far for Ypsilanti Athletic FC.
Spring Arbor was the alma mater of former Lansing Common midfielder Marco Bernardini. Marco left the roster when he was hired as the head coach at Spring Arbor. Other Spring Arbor connection, former Spring Arbor head coach Josh Oakley was the first head coach of Lansing Common in club history. Now, of course, over at Kalamazoo FC, serving as the head coach as well as an assistant coach on Western Michigan's men's varsity team.
Broncos out of the Mid-American Conference. Oftentimes play Michigan State in pretty much every sport on a yearly or bi-yearly basis. And that one out of the reach of number 75, Luke Powell.
Incredible oversight. It is a little early for the corrections part of the broadcast, but producer Scott Oberlander reminds me that Lansing Common legend Jack Voigt played at Spring Arbor, of course. You know, Jack Voigt is just a Lansing Common Robin. He doesn't even go to college. He eats, sleeps, and breathes Lansing Common. Of course, in my brain, he does that. But grievous oversight there. I apologize.
Team's just waiting this one out, as it will result in a resounding victory for the Robins.
And I hate to do this to you, Jack, but the MAC stopped sponsoring men's soccer in 2022. Western Michigan plays in the Missouri Valley. How about that?
Buffalo played Michigan State earlier this year. The Buffalo Bulls, of course, who are a primary MAC member in college soccer, as well as Miami of Ohio has a very solid soccer team down there in Oxford. As a stoppage and the whistle from one of the officials on the field.
It didn't count, but Lazaro Solis with a phenomenal save, just making himself big there. All you can do. But the attacker was about 30 yards offsides from the looks of things.
Offside and the visiting team, two things that have gone hand in hand so far through the first 2 weeks of the Lansing Common season here at Eastern Stadium. Robbins playing it in, leaving his post was goalkeeper for the visitors, Gabriel Pinzone, able to get it out of harm's way. Pinzone so far has only allowed 2 goals compared to his counterpart in the first half, allowing 4. And Tommy Day.
He's also got no number, so he's got plausible deniability for whatever he does.
that is a great point. A very true point as well.
Built-in alibi.
Lots of different tactics used. Most unconventional ways by the visitors. Late lineups, minutes before kickoff. Goaltenders with no names or numbers on the kits. And a plentiful amount of interesting substitutions for the visitors from Ypsilanti.
That was once again well off.
Hands in the air in frustration.
I believe both attacking players were offside on that one, which is not something you see every day.
Yasir Almataz frustrated with that call, as well as number 18, Kiumbo, frustrated as well. But as Josh mentioned, both attackers called offside. 84 minutes and counting, just about 5 minutes away from the conclusion of the second friendly match of the year for LCFC. And this one a lot less stressful than the first. 2-1 the score of the first game. Outstretching and corralling the ball is Gabriel Pinzone. A nice effort there. Playing till the final whistle, something that is stressed amongst any team playing competitively, and Pinzone showing the effort right there.
Great attack by Colin McKay. Lansing Christian product. Lansing Christian, small program, but a local power. Plays really well against other small schools in the area and has been a little bit of a feeder for Lansing Common the last few years. Colin McKay now playing at Alma College.
Here's a chance, and offside is the call, much to the dismay of Mike Kiumbo again. Nice effort right there from Lazaro Solis.
I'm starting to think they heard us talking about that 8 offsides calls from the last game, and I've started treating that as aspirational.
And in the first half, it didn't seem as much, but maybe
been a flurry in the last few minutes.
Towards the latter part of this second half, offside aplenty for the visitors in neon. 6-0 the score. looking that will remain the same unless Lansing Common puts together one last gasp effort to build on their already almost insurmountable lead. If it is, in fact, the defeat of 6-0, of course, it'll be the biggest margin of victory this season so far, only 2 games in. 4 substitutions are on deck for the visiting team as Common tries to build a chance and has lots of space sent towards the net and wide. That was number 20, Drew Leitz. There's your Spring Arbor connection right there, Josh, trying to make magic happen.
Yasir Almodas has been all over the pitch today in the attack, was there in defense, and just really misplayed that one, causing it to fall right to the feet of Drew Leitz, who almost had a golazo there.
Substitutes have entered the game, 4 of them for the Neon, as
substitutions going in. Number 17, Muhammad.
The afternoon seems to be over for 4 members of Ypsilanti who have just left the pitch for the final time.
Number 36, Christopher Beso Rodriguez.
Christopher Beso Rodriguez, number 36, the one of 4 substitutes in question, as the visitors are trying to play for pride here and make another effort to potentially get themselves on the scoreboard. Lansing Common trying to change that. There's only 2 minutes and change until the end of this game. Number 4 has been everywhere as well for that team.
Yeah.
And I really wish they had a name for him on the roster. I really do, to give credit where credit is due. But unfortunately, communications have been very few and far between from Ypsilanti, and I have not been able to find out what that guy's name is.
A little two-handed shove from the fellow we were just talking about. Goes undetected by the head referee.
The only player on the roster that I have in front of me right now is C.J. Mamodu So. He was late to the game and chose a number when he got here, and that could potentially be who that is. Now, again, I don't want to misidentify who that is. If it's not C.J., but if it is C.J., you have done well defensively, my friend, for the visitors in this game. Waning seconds of the second half and of the game here for Lansing Common. And the Robins with a dominant effort in their second game of the season.
Jack, who's your man of the match this afternoon?
Well, I've got 5 goal scorers, 6 goals, and I got to give it to the guy who's scored 2 of them, and that's Extreme Hawk. Just out of pure scoreboard effectiveness. Now, there are other players, like Amir Shataya, who I've been really impressed with here so far. Push-up man and Damian Adai, I thought was just fantastic all around. And that is going to do it.
End of the game.
Totally agree with you. Hard to give it to anybody else other than the gentleman with the brace out of the number 9 striker position. But a terrific display for the fans, for the coaches, and for the players this afternoon. We will be back 6 days from today. Next Saturday, May 16 at 6 p.m., we will face 1927 Sport Club. And we hope we get a little less wind for that one and just as many fireworks, eh?
6-0, the final score. Lansing Common defeats Ypsilanti Athletic Football Club. For Scott Overlander and the rest of our crew, and for Josh Pugh, nice time here on the airwaves with you. I'm Jack Bowinkle. A dominant effort for the Robins in their second friendly of the season. We'll see you next week.